Hey everyone, this is Jebro, and today we're talking about a Dragon Hunter build. Funnily enough, the last build I did was Dragon Hunter as well. And we'll be going over a lot of what I went over before, but with a change of a couple of traits. Now, if you are wondering where I've been in terms of Guild Wars 2 builds, and you've just seen Paragon content, that is because I am starting to go into other games as well. Now the reason is, and this is going to be a little bit of a, it's not a blog video, it's a build video, but I'm going to tell you as well that I'm moving to America mid-December to the, before Christmas basically. I'm going to be streaming, every day. It's going to be a job. I stream at the moment, so that's another reason why YouTube videos have been slow, and also because of the fact that I'm so busy trying to organise my basic move to a completely different country, life, and I'm going to be getting married. But that means more videos and hopefully more, and actually a ton of streaming. It's going to be mainly streaming. So if you've ever supported me or ever wanted to watch me just stream and play games, then come over to the twitch.tv/JebroUnity. Links is going to be down below. I am a partnered streamer, so high quality settings and everything else. You get loads of fun stuff. There we go, sellout part done. I do have a cough at the moment. I'm a bit run down and tired because everything's a bit crazy, so forgive me if I just screw up a couple of details here and there. It's not going to be anything major. That was a great selling point to the video. Well done, Jebro, and I will see you later. Bye. No, I'm joking. Anyway, let's stick around because we're going to do this video. But yeah, it's all about the sword, focus, and scepter shield. Now I've dropped longbow from my last build. As far as I can remember, it was longbow. It was a while ago. It was about 3 or 4 months ago actually now as well. Pack and obviously Marauder Amulet as well. Going for Sigil of Air on both sword and scepter because they do a ton of damage with the extra air sigil, and obviously 3 seconds you're going to be in this weapon sets for more than that time anyway. And then we've got Sigil of Blood to steal some health, and also leeching as well to obviously just steal some health on a weapon swap. So you don't have to think about that too much. Might be useful to have that sigil more on the shield set as well, but it's been effective this way so far anyway. So my sword focus, now if you remember my overview video on the Guardian patch note changes about 2 patches ago, I think it was, which was a while ago. I can link that in the video as well. There were changes to things like Scepter 2 and Sword 2, which now gives you symbols. So the symbol on the floor for Scepter 2 is going to be Might. Symbol on the floor for Sword 2 is going to be Fury. So you can see that Fury obviously coming up there. Focus gives you some extra damage as well as blocking capacity as well, which is good for the traits, which I'll go through fairly shortly. And obviously, Sword had a little bit of a change in its chain. As you can see there, the nice amount of damage which is applied on the third attack from the sword as well, with the miniature kind of cone effect swords being poked out from your sword as well. So let's go through that as just in case you haven't seen that change before. 2, 3, you can see the amount of damage that comes out. So sword has a ton of damage at the moment just from basically auto attacking pretty much as well, especially when you've got that fury field down on the floor. Sorry, symbol, it's not field. It is a field, but it's not a field in that sense of what I'm talking about. So let's put 2 down on the floor. We got Fury. Look at the damage that's coming out. You can see. I know it's against the golem, but you get the idea of how much that's going to matter versus someone in 1v1 specifically. So let's go over the rest of the build. What have we got? We've got heals, we've got shelter, we've got a meditation coming out with Judge's intervention. Obviously, that is going to be your teleport and your burning, as well as your fury. You can see the augmented skills as well in blue. Then we've got another meditation coming out with smite condition, a trap, which is test of fate, which is going to give you those fragments on the floor. Sorry, not going to give you fragments on the floor. It's the ring of weapons that punishes enemies that attempt to cross them. Sorry, that I'm thinking about. And the faith trap. And then we've got another meditation, which is renewed focus. Now, through the traits and everything else, we're getting fury from our meditations. And we're obviously going to get other factors as well. We're going to get smite condition with our shelter as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Don't forget that obviously the base condition removal for Guardian for the virtues has gone up, especially through the traits as well as giving you a base condition removal on your second virtue. And this is going to be Wings of Resolve for this Dragon Hunter build, of course, which is self condition removal of 2 on activate. So let's go through the traits. There's virtues, valor, and obviously Dragon Hunter as well. So let's go through it like we always do. If you want to skip towards the end, I'd suggest hovering around this tree, because that's where most of the changes are going to come in. So virtues now apply the following to allies and when activated. So obviously might, regeneration and protection to everyone who is in the area, up to 5 of course. Unscathed contender, so deal more damage under the effects of Aegis. We have got Aegis all the time because we are a guardian, we are a dragon hunter. We have Aegis, we block things. We gain Aegis back as well. We've got, you know, things like Shield of Courage and whatnot, and we've got the Shield 4 as well. Don't forget that when you use things like, it doesn't describe it very well because it doesn't say applies to yourself and allies, so it gives you protection as well as Aegis if you don't have it. So Virtue of Retribution, gain retaliation when you activate a virtue. Retaliation you apply lasts longer, so boom, 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 you know, you're gaining a ton of retaliation and whatnot through your virtues, so don't forget that. The amount of boons you get is awesome as well. Absolute Resolution, so activating Virtue of Resolve removes conditions from nearby allies. Virtue of Resolve's passive effect is stronger, so your heal is stronger. You gain an extra free condition removal, which is for yourself as well. It's one of those things where I'd just say the description isn't great, because nearby allies normally means yourself as well, which is fantastic. So you've got a ton of condition removal coming from that, so it's up to 5. And then we're going to go over towards Power of the Virtuous, so deal extra damage for each boon you have. We're a guardian, we have boons all the time pretty much, even if we've just got Aegis. Indomitable Courage, you gain that stability as well through your Shield of Courage, your third virtue if you're not using Dragon Hunter as well. So obviously that's good for stability stomping, stability rezzing, planting yourself and your allies on a point where you don't want to be CC'd. To break stun as well is very, very, very powerful. That's very important to have a break stun in your build somewhere, which is great. Now Valor, we just go on to this trait line here. Valorious Defense, gain Aegis when you're struck while below the health threshold. That helps you get another block, also helps you get Aegis, and Aegis is going to help you remove, it's going to help you block attacks, which later will also remove conditions. So there's a lot of synergy in this build. Having Aegis up as much as possible is very useful for Condi removal, which I will explain in a bit. Smiter's Boon, so smite conditions when you use a healing ability. This is going to be your shelter, or whatever heal you want to use. So cure conditions and damage nearby foes, deal more damage if a condition is cured. I would really, when you're using smite condition, make sure you've got at least 1 Condi on you, because you're going to do more damage. More often than not, you're going to have 1 to 2 conditions on you permanently anyway, especially at the moment, versus condition orientated builds in this meta. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, especially with Mesmer just staying the same. Necro might come out a little bit here and there, but you're still going to have condition builds in the meta in some way, shape or form. Virtue of Courage is recharged when you revive an ally. I mean, you know, that's pretty good. I mean, if you're using your Virtue of Courage for stability rezzing, you know, that's going to be, just use it when you go for a res, because you're just going to get it back anyway when you get the res, so that's pretty good. Stalwart Defender, so gain additional toughness while wielding a shield. Shield ability recharge is reduced. So obviously, you know, we've got the Aegis and protection, which is very important for ourselves and allies. And then we've got the Shield of Absorption. Now that obviously gives you the knob back and the absorb, but it also gives you a tiny heal. So if you're ever using your shield, make sure that you use it and then press it again before the charge runs out, because you can give yourself a little bit of a heal, which is always very nice. It doesn't really have that much in the actual skill. It's not got it in there at all, actually, in the description. So you can get a little bit of a heal from that as well, which is nice. So make sure you use it again before the channel runs out. Might of the Protector. Gain might when you block attacks. We're blocking a lot. We have Aegis. We have, you know, we have focus. We have the third virtue. We have shelter. You know, we're getting blocks up a lot. Using a meditation skill heals you and grants fury to allies in a radius. Meditation skills have reduced recharge time as well. So obviously we've got meditation skills all over the place. I was gonna do something wrong there. Smite condition, judge's intervention, renewed focus, all of these things, you know, you're going to be able to give yourself a ton of extra damage as well. So it looks good. Looks good, hey? Especially with all of those added up, that's a lot of fury. Obviously you're not going to use them like that at all, but just giving you an example and using those as well. So let's get into the nitty gritty here with Dragon Hunter as well. Obviously, we know what this trait is doing. Piercing Light traps daze enemies when activating and have reduced recharge times. Now, a lot of people, when I've been playing this build, especially on stream, are saying that why do you pick Shelter over the trap? Now, this is where you can change your mind, obviously, but I've always just preferred Shelter. It's nice to have the extra days on the trap, to be fair. The reason I'm flying around right now is to actually just get out of combat. This is one thing that really pisses me off about the mists, the fact that you can't just always change your skills. So if we have a look, let's have a look at the difference between the two heals. So you get a heal there of 4,500, and then you get more healing from the trap, in all honesty. But I remove conditions with the I do remove conditions with my Shelter heal. So you do get more of a heal as long as the trap actually heal does come off, which is most of the time, so it should be fine. But I like the Condi removal, and this is what we're going to go into very, very shortly. It really depends actually what you're going versus, because everyone that plays meta builds is like, you know, they're the best builds, they're the best builds in the world, you should be playing them. Yes, to a degree, but you can also tweak them as you're going up against different people. Especially now in when queues go to single player and duo queue, you will be going up against compositions which won't be meta compositions. There won't just be one Necro, one Mesmer, one Thief, one Revenant, one Elementalist, or whatever. It's going to be, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 of these classes. So if you're going against classes which have, you know, a lot of burst damage or a lot of conditions, you change your build effectively. Don't just change, don't just be something which you know, I can remove tons of conditions, but what about your survivability versus you know, high impact damage, you know, versus burst damage. You know, you've got to change these things on the fly, because that's going to make you a good player. It's not always just about what the meta is. You do have to change it specifically. And this is one of those builds where, you know, I may change to Hunter's Fortification just because I'm versus more Condi builds. So this is why I make these builds different sometimes, because they're just thinking about different ways that I can counter other builds that I'm going versus. That's all I want to do. I want to win the game the best way I can. So I'll try and think about the most damage that's in the fight and kind of change my build towards that, counter it where I can. Which is what you should be doing, really. And it's what you do in any PvP game. Defender's Dogma. So blocking an attack causes justice to reach its maximum charge. So obviously, you know, the hits that you get from you know, your first virtue, you know, every couple of times you hit, you know, set them on fire and you inflict burning. So that's going to be at a maximum charge where you just hit them and you get burns all the time, which is nice. So you block an attack and someone's obviously going to come and ruin my day. Yo bro, making a vid. And yeah, so that's all fun and games, so all good. Wow, this never happens. He just wants to be famous, apparently. I don't know, depending on if I actually get people viewing this video, which normally happens. So yeah, anyway, all good. So Hunter's Determination, this is what I was getting confused with before. Gain Aegis and drop a trap at your location when you are afflicted with stun, daze, knockback, and the rest of the effects there as well. So obviously Shards of Faith is great because you can give, you know, stability, your Aegis as well. He's got a daze because obviously don't forget that this mixes in with your piercing light trait as well, and that will obviously go with the heal if you decide to pick up the heal trap. So you've got choices between the heals really, and you just got to think about what's good for you in terms of how you're playing. And I do switch between both after talking to people in my stream specifically and more experienced Dragon Hunter Guardian players. Pure of Sight, deal bonus damage based on your distance to the enemy. So you haven't got really many ranged attacks other than maybe, you know, your sword 3 and your scepter 1 as well. You know, you've obviously got quite a big range. That's 900 on your scepter. You can see the amount of damage which just comes out from that. And you have got quite a big range on your scepter 3 as well, so you can lock them at range. So this is really your main ranged ability with these weapon sets, because obviously sword isn't really. And you've got quite a big range on your Spear of Justice actually. So example, if you've got a trap laid down and you've got your Scepter 2 and you want to pull them into that, That's obviously very nice to get. Obviously the golem's not going to get pulled that far, unfortunately, but you can pull him into your traps. This is something you should always be doing. The combinations on Guardian are quite good. It's like, I really do like it because there's some set combos which are just fun to do, especially if you've got things like, you know, you've got your sword 2 and you don't want to engage on them, you want to pull that target into your sword 2 as well. You can do that. Obviously I just screwed it up, so sorry about that, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? I mean, you've got to pull. It's a bit like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. You pull them in close, you do your damage, and then you disengage or you just finish the fight. You know, it's pretty nice. You can pull them into your traps as well. Always very fun to do that. Obviously they'll stay there more and he'll have cripple and whatnot as well. So it's very nice to use those. Make sure you're comboing up your skills. Don't just blindly use something and think, you know, because you know you're taking away a lot of your own damage potential as well. So there you go. Anyway, Golem's dead. Thieves buggered off. That's good. Pure of Sight. Deal bonus damage based on your distance to the enemy, which is what we just went through. Now this is the one. Hunter's Fortification. So remove conditions when blocking attacks. Receive less damage when you have no conditions on you. I think this is great. Because if you're going versus something like a Revenant or even a Thief. Now, okay, you're going to have a condition on you. You know, it's going to be vulnerability or something like that as well. But if someone decides to burst you and they're not applying condition to you, and you've got less damage coming onto you. Now, that's something that people forget about this trait. A lot of people are still going for heavy light. So deflecting shot knocks back enemies on hit, gains stability when knocking back, launching or pulling an enemy. So, you know, you can get a lot of stability through, you know, your longbow and obviously, you know, other means. But at the same time, you've got condition removal and you've got damage decrease from enemies. I just think that's fantastic, and you can have a look in a moment as long as the Necro actually applies conditions. So how many conditions you can actually remove. Now this is the problem with these with these guys. They don't really apply many conditions, especially the Necro apparently. So he's going to hit me now. I'm going to get the conditions removed because he's hitting me because I'm blocking an attack. Now let's do this again. Hopefully it will apply another condition now as well. No, apparently not. Come on. Oh god, he's not going to do it. That's typical. But anyway, see what I said there about conditions. Making sure you use meditation when you remove a condition, because you could see the amount of extra damage there that came out from that. So I'm going to apply this. So obviously when you've got a block up, it's pretty much not going to apply any conditions to you at all, because if you've got a block which is going to remain for a while and it blocks a certain amount of attacks, then you can obviously you know, he's not going to be able to apply many conditions to you whatsoever. So let's just heal up so I don't look like an idiot. So remember, this trait is very important. So if you didn't get what I'm saying there, which was a little bit broken, I do apologise for that, because I was trying to get the flipping Necro to apply conditions to me. Basically, when you block and they hit you, you are removing a condition. We've got blocks all over the shop. Shield of Wrath, that's blocking. We've got Shield of Courage, that's blocking. We've got a block heal. Now that's the main reason I'm using the block. It's so effective. We've got so many blocks. We've got Aegis. Whenever we get Aegis, we are blocking one attack. So I've got a condition on me and Aegis is up. Then he attacks me again. He's removing that condition. The condition is gone. So you have a ton of condition removal. Even if it's just vulnerability stacks. That is nice to have. Doesn't necessarily mean we need to go overboard with it. So that's what I'm saying, that having the trap heal might be better option. It really depends on how many condition builds you're going versus. That is the main change in my build, as well as the Scepter Shield. I do still go to Longbow for the funsies though. And I do still change to Heavy Light. But I've been playing this build more recently in the last 2 weeks, especially on stream. So, you know, try things out, you know, tell me what you think about this build as well, because that's very important. Just gonna see if he's actually gonna put some conditions on me this time. No. God damn it. This is so annoying, Necros, Jesus Christ. I could have recorded a ton of footage, but unfortunately I don't really have the time. But there you go, you can see the amount of damage as well that is going to do itself. Nice. Heal. Unfortunately, the condition class in the game, the NPC, is not going to remove any conditions, and someone's going to come in and kill something. So that's another reason why as well. But yeah, remember, shield is going to do a little bit of healing. You can see it going up there when I channeled it and then used it again. Make sure you're comboing your abilities correctly. When you've got your blocks up and you've got a ton of conditions on you, use your blocks to remove conditions, as well as using your virtues, as well as using your smite condition. And you can use your heal to not only, you will remove conditions when you're blocking, as well as obviously you will be using smite conditions. So don't forget that you remove a ton of conditions when you're using your heal, because you've got 2 condition removal as well as removing conditions that you are blocking. So remember the combinations of condition removal as well, because that is very, very important. So even if you don't use the shelter, you're still going to get 2 conditions removed with smite condition on your heal if you use a trap. So that is important to remember, guys, as you can see here. Boom, there you go. Okay, so that's going to be the build. If you've got any questions or you think I've got anything wrong about this build, then please let me know in the comments below. It's been fun to chat to you guys again. I'm looking forward to the next one where I get to do some more stuff about Guild Wars 2 as well. Like I said, it has been slow at the moment because of, you know, the fact that we're not really getting many patches, and there's not really been massive significant patch changes as well. It's mainly been nerfs. I mainly talk about engineer as well. I was going to do some more patch release note videos, but by now everyone knows exactly what's going on, as well as I've just not had the time to. So I'm hoping to get more time to do videos. Check out the stream, because that's mainly where I am 6 days a week at the moment. When I go to America, it'll probably be 5 or 6, but it will be 6 hours a day at least. When I get started, hopefully. I do have a 24-hour stream, which is going to be for my birthday, my birthday is the 6th of December, and the actual 24-hour stream for the celebration of that and going to America will likely be on the 10th of December. I'm gonna get wrecked on that stream. I'll tell you, I'm gonna be 35 this year. I'm not a younger man as I used to be, still fairly young, but it's going to be a challenge indeed. So come and support that. I'm also raising money towards a new PC build for when I get to America, because this will be my main job when I get there for the foreseeable future. I've been Jebro. Don't forget to check everything else out on the channel. All the links below. Donation link included in there if you want to support me with that. I will do a video on that in the future. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.